And so we are here again in the present moment. You know, when they asked me to entitle today meditation and discussion, it takes only an instant to awaken. It'll only take you an instant. Hang on, there we go. That should correct that. I think on TikTok, you may notice the sound is a little better. Can you just let me know that the sound is okay there, guys? And we'll make certain that we make any corrections we need to make. So it only takes you an instant to awaken. And when we say awaken, thank you. When we say awaken, we mean where you find yourself not in suffering, where you can step outside of your mind and observe it. It only takes an instant, and as little effort as simply being aware enough to pull your attention away from your thinking mind. And the thinking mind is very intimate with your 5 physical senses. Your thinking mind is very intimate with your physical senses, as you can become very intimate with your physical senses, but then they become a distraction because the function of your body is one of survival, not of creation. Good morning. Good morning. So the function of your body is survival, not creation. And because your mind and body are so intimate together, you often get distracted in the mind and in the senses of your body, and then you're caught up in survival. And in survival, there is fear, there is power, there is control, but those things only exist over the external elements and are temporary. Our goal today is to bring you, as a matter of your own choice, to a place where you awaken, even if it is but slightly. You know, if you pay attention to a sentence that you see upon a page, or you pay attention to the words that we're saying right now, that you can focus upon the words in the sentence or the words we're saying and see the words. And you can also focus upon the spaces, the gaps between the words, the space between the words we're speaking or the words you might read upon a page. You may likewise do the same thing with your thinking mind, where you do not focus upon the thoughts themselves or the memories or the anticipations. You give attention to the spaces between them. And what will you find in the spaces between the words on a page or the words that someone is speaking or the thoughts in your mind? What is in that space? Will you bring your attention to that space today, right now? We can assure you that we will provide enough space to do that. That space is always available to you to step into that place between thought, before and after memory, where you can put your awareness. Now, because your body is so intimately connected to your mind, then the threat of distraction is always there. The threat of distraction is always there. And so one of the things that you'll need to do is to train the body to go to the spaces between the thoughts, the memories, the anticipations, to train the physical body to go there with you. And one of the ways that we suggest that here is that while you listen to what we're saying, And it's important you understand that you have many capabilities. You have many avenues of perception and awareness that are able to be accessed and awakened. So when we ask you to direct your body to breathe, because you want to bring your awareness to that place where there is no thought, where there's no distraction. That does not mean that you cannot be aware of thought. You just won't be distracted by it. That does not mean that you will not be aware that there is sensation. You just won't be distracted by it. And it is in that place of distraction that you actually begin to fall asleep. And it's in that place of non-distraction where you begin to awaken. And our goal today is about awakening, that it only takes an instant. Imagine any one of you in the burden of despair or the disturbance of anger or confusion, and that you were able to literally turn that off, like changing a channel on your television, that you could literally change what your mind and body are focusing upon and bring your awareness to that space between thought, before and after sensation. And again, because the body and mind are so intimately connected, it becomes very important then to direct the body and to direct the mind, to usher them gently into the present moment with you, so that they are not captivated anymore by the world, and they go with you into this place of awakening. And the first step, of course, to bring your body into such an alignment with you is your breath. To take a slow and deep breath with the body, to direct your body to breathe. And to direct your body to relax. And to direct your body to breathe. And to direct your body to relax. And as you instigate that function with your body, you are beginning to usher your body, direct it towards this stillness. And simultaneously, because your mind and body are so intimately connected, that when you begin this process of the breath, and one does not need to be an experienced guru or yogi or mystic or master to do this. In this, you are a master. Even if you do not understand the fullness of that statement, it is true. And so you use the breath and you usher the body towards silence, and the mind will begin to follow, because they are very intimate, your mind and body. They're very intimate with each other. And so it's important then that you understand that you, through this use of your breath, are ushering both body and mind into stillness, into a place where there is no thought. Although you can be aware there is thought, you can be aware that there is sound and smell and sensation around you in the body, but you are no longer pulled by them into the sound of the machine running outside, or the sound of the bird chirping on the branch, or the sound of the feet of the person on the floor above you, or the children playing outside. You are aware of those things, but you're not captured by them anymore. And that when you find the mind and body attempting to analyze or go back to what they were, you simply use your breath. And you draw the mind and body, you usher them back to stillness, to silence. And you, as you observe through the use of your breath, the body grows quieter, the mind becomes calmer, as you are now directing them to function very specifically. And that they will follow you quite precisely if you're persistent. that even in the throes of rage, if you turn to the body and say, breathe, or the throes of despair and you say to the body, breathe, and you're doing so with the intention to take your body and take your mind, usher them gently away from the rage, away from the distraction, then they will begin to settle. And as they begin to settle, you begin to move away from distraction. You are persistent in the breath, persistent in paying attention to the spaces between the thoughts or the spaces between the sounds or the sensations. And in so doing this, you begin to move yourself to a delightful place. This awakening begins to happen. The fullness of it will come to pass if persistence is sustained in the application of ushering your body on a regular basis to that place of stillness, where your mind, of course, must follow, because the mind is very intimate with the physical body. The mind is very intimate with its memory. And so your ability to pull your attention away from, direct your body away from, and direct your mind away from the distractions of themselves into silence begins to restore a sensation called peace. Your modern sciences will register this peace as a form of homeostasis, wherein the body begins to restore itself as it is not loaning its energy resources to the conventional distractions of your day-to-day life, which is what happens when you understand the simple and practical elegance to the function of meditation, that you can by pulling the body and mind away from the world, using your breath to usher them to stillness, to silence, then you begin to awaken from the personality. You begin to extricate yourself gently and delicately from the personality that the world is so deliberately and often unconsciously given you, the personality that you believe that you think you are. In this place of the breath, where you use the breath to bring the body to stillness, to bring the mind gently to silence, you are such an architect of this, if you understand that the very nature of your body and the very nature of your mind is that they are in need of your direction, and you are in need of directing them so that you're not subjective to them anymore, subjected to their beliefs, their ideas, their information that are harbored in your biological and energetic systems. But this function of the breath, very gently, very deliberately, if the mind gets distracted and it wants to go here and there, you simply use the breath. You see, the body needs to heal itself differently than the mind will allow it. And so the process of instruction here must happen from you, and you must apply this instruction to your mind and body, as they will not and cannot apply them to themselves. But you can orchestrate this gently with the breath, like a conductor leading the instruments in the symphony, your mind and your body, and the collage of thoughts and memories and anticipations that you have. And that you can gently, with the breath, conduct the body to relax, to be still, to be quiet, and to conduct the thoughts likewise to become still and quiet and peaceful. This is the beginning of awakening, and you get to conduct the symphony so that it plays the sweet sound of silence and stillness, for which your awareness may be in desperate need, as equally as your mind and body need to be in a place of stillness, that they may be healed and restored to a different state than the world will allow them to exist in. And when you come to a place where you restore peace and quiet to your mind and body, then there's a function called realization that begins to happen. There's sensation that appears different in your body. The body is no longer racing around with the mind distracted, nor the mind captivated by the sensations of the body. They, through your direction, become quieter, calmer, and more peaceful as you just gently use the breath to usher the body, the mind, into stillness. You will need to be persistent in this. In the beginning, it may take a little bit of time. And for some of you, it may be the instant, which is all you need, as awakening happens in an instant. When you can meticulously and deliberately bring your mind and body to that undistracted place of silence, when you are able to do this deliberately and meticulously, not only does your body begin a process of restoration, but you begin to get your awareness above the waters of the mind. Many of you are drowning in thought, drowning in emotion, drowning in memory, drowning in anticipation. And when you can use this simple process of articulating the body to breathe slowly, of ushering the body and mind with your breath to stillness, to find the space between the thoughts, the space before and after the thoughts, the space before and after the memory, the space before and after what the mind would anticipate. And as you gain familiarity in that space, the mind and body go to peace, and your head comes above the water, and you begin to feel and know yourself as something that is unique and distinct and independent from the cacophony of thoughts that may perpetuate themselves or insinuate themselves into your life on a daily basis. But in being able to instruct the mechanism body and the mechanism of your mind into that place of stillness, there is a freedom that begins to be remembered. You begin to remember yourself as the silent observer. You begin to feel a peace, and your body will too. A body and mind undistracted, a body and mind in stillness allows a different quality of yourself to come into the presence of them. The function of healing begins to become more efficient, as it is no longer perceiving, the body is no longer bound by protecting itself from the things that it think might harm it from the world, because you bring it to a place of stillness in the moment. So its resources then come from the world, come back to itself, and the process of regeneration can begin to be initiated when the resources of the mind and body are turned inward into the stillness. Then nothing is obstructing what the body and mind can most effectively do when undistracted. And the primary reason we came to remind you of this truth, because it is simply something that you know but have simply forgotten in your distraction, as it is true for most people that simply have forgotten what they know because of distraction. And you were distracted from the moment you came into that body. You were distracted with the name. You were distracted with ideas. You were distracted with information. You were distracted with beliefs. You were distracted by sensations. And such a great effort goes into distracting you from who you are from the moment of your conception. Great effort of environment, of stimulation goes into keeping you distracted. And this process of distraction, once it stops, then you awaken. And the awaken may be a simple sensation of feeling unburdened by memory, unburdened by thought, unburdened by distraction. It may be something as simple as just feeling a little bit better than you did a moment before. And it may be a full-blown illumination where you suddenly realize, I am that I am. It may be anything in between or various degrees of that. But it only takes an instant for you to awaken, for you to realize, oh, I am not these thoughts, and I am not these sensations. These are merely the mechanisms that allow me to apprehend this environment called time and space and matter. It's what your body is designed to do, allow you to apprehend what is occurring around you in this physical dimension, around that body that you're in. But if you do not know how to return to yourself, it's very difficult then for the mind and body to heal themselves. And so this function of your breath becomes very important. Not only for you, but for everyone around you. And so you have it, the breath. To pull the senses of the body inward, to quiet the distracted mind to the space between its thoughts. You can do this. You can direct where your mind and body are looking so that they look for the space between the thoughts, the space between memory, the space between emotions. There is space between them because you know that one moment you feel good and one moment you might not feel so good, but there's a space between those two states, as there is space between your thoughts, as there is space between the objects in the room around you. And in that space, there is something other than what is observed or observing. There's something else that you are, that you begin to bring yourself to. And you'll know it when you get there because it is what you are. When your mind does not dissuade you from silence and your body does not dissuade you with distraction, then you get to experience yourself. And it becomes quite exciting to be able to go to this place, at any place, at any time, to be in that place wherever you are. What you can say, what you can do, and what you are outside the existing structures of the distractions and personality that you have, what you are is vastly different than those things. And what you will say and what you will do through the mind and through the body will be no longer based in what you already know, as what you already know does not lead itself to you understanding anything new about your life or bringing anything new into your life. It is not possible. You cannot know something new from what you already know. You can only know what you know from what you know. You cannot know anything new from what you know, but you can let go of what you know and know what you do not. And the experience of gaining familiarity with being able to condition your mind and condition your body into that place where they're undistracted. you are awakening. And there's information, there's inspiration, there's guidance, there is assistance that does not exist in this world that becomes available to you when you are not captured or captivated or distracted by this world. Then you can experience and know something other than what you know. And your famous individual, the one you call Einstein, had made a very profound and simple statement about this fundamental truth that we're speaking of right now. And it was quite simple. It was this: that a problem cannot be solved at the level which created it. And we would restructure that to say that nothing new can occur in your life from what is old. From what you already know, nothing new can occur. Because the idea that a problem cannot be solved at the level which created it applies true. Something new can be not gained from something that is already known. And so being able to gain the awareness back, to remember yourself as this fundamental, exquisite consciousness that has the ability to be in stillness and still be aware of the body and still be aware of the mind and still be aware of many other things without being distracted or captivated by any one element or another. In the position of stillness, you can utilize all the facets of the self available to you: body, mind, soul, spirit. You can avail yourself of communion with the wisdom and knowledge of the infinite that will allow you to know, to say, to do things that you cannot know, to say, to do in the confines of your personality, or in the confines of simply believing that you are just a physical instrument exclusively. There's this place of infinite knowledge, of which you are a very important part. If importance is what you need in order to encourage you to step outside of what you are so familiar with, then we will say that to you: you are important. You are important to this world. You are important to your mind and body. But the importance that we speak of is something that needs to be experienced. You need to experience it. And then you would not think of yourself as more important, but you'd recognize the value of yourself. And that is what we mean when we say important, that you recognize the value of yourself wherever you are, wherever you exist. You recognize the statement, I am that I am, realizes the all-embracing love and wisdom and knowledge of itself as being equal at all points of its existence. And so in that state, you cannot view anybody or anything as less than you, nor yourself as more than others. And great things can occur from that place in this world. Great things have occurred in this world because of that place. Those few of you that even with your mind, you were persistent enough to let go of what you knew sufficient enough just to gain a new idea, or be inspired, or receive guidance because you were able to let go of the fundamental constraints placed upon you by the environment. You somehow, your innovators and your creators are good examples of this. You call it a light bulb moment because someone invented a light bulb, a new idea that came to them in a moment where they were not distracted by the world or distracted by their memory or distracted by the anticipation of the future. But in an instant, the light bulb came. And in an instant, the universe came. And in an instant, a planet came. From this place that we speak of, there is profound and limitless freedom to experience creation, to experience sensation. Oh, and there are some delights to experience in sensation, provided they do not distract you from the original source of yourself. Then it can be a very good thing. And all of you are desperately trying to get close to this source of yourself. The whole mechanism of objectification, the whole obsession with sensuality and sexuality, the whole obsession with that is because it would seem to be that this maximal state of pleasure that it can occur between individuals, the state you call the orgasm, is an example of where you return home for an instant. You are completely undistracted by this world, and you lose it in but a few short seconds. It is gone, that profound bliss. But it does not have to be but a few seconds. But in the realm of the body, it is because the body is bound in time. And so self trying to get back to this place. All of you are trying to get back to this place that is here and now. And you find ways of creatively over-sensationalizing your bodies or overstimulating your mind to create a condition that is favorable to you experience the absolute bliss and goodness of life. But not understanding the temporary nature of the body and the temporary nature of the mind, you find yourself pursuing temporary relief again and again and again, your dissatisfaction increasing, your frustration as well. And what we speak of is very simple, that you do not need to surrender the body. You do not need to surrender the acquisition of experiencing life in as much degree as you're capable of, but do so from the place of knowing yourself as you truly are, as you truly are. In that function of the breath, you can restore the body and the mind. If there's nothing in the way, there's nothing in the way. The function of healing, for example, the process of suffering in that context of biology is a direct result of the resistance within the system to the function of healing, which is a natural and can be an almost immediate state if there's no resistance to its function. But that is another discussion. The function of healing comes from that place of awakening, wherein you can awaken in but a single instant, a single breath. And those of you that have been listening and allowing yourself to breathe, allowing yourself to experience, ushering your body and your mind away from the distractions of the world, the distractions of thought, finding the place between your thoughts, finding the place before and after memory, bringing both your body and your mind to that evident revelation of yourself that happens spontaneously. And it only takes an instant in but a single breath. And so know that when you direct the body to breathe, you're not just making the body breathe, you're bringing yourself home. You're bringing yourself home. And when you bring your attention to the spaces between your thoughts, you give your mind relief from its incessant nature. When you can bring your mind to the space between your thoughts, you relieve it of its incessant nature. You give it rest. And in the moment your mind and body are at rest and undistracted, there is a moment of awakening. And you can feel it. Even your body can feel it when it happens. There's a sense of vibration that happens in the body. An undefinable excitement happens within your awareness as the mind gets quieter and you begin to experience yourself uniquely distinct from all the thoughts and memories and emotions and anticipations that you cling to without even realizing you are clinging to them. And it is but a breath away. You are a breath away from fully awakening, fully realizing your nature. And so we leave you with that consideration. But we will certainly take a few questions before we move on to other things. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank this collective of yogis that is with me today. It's an amazing thing when you realize that you are not alone. You have at your disposal limitless knowledge. Limitless knowledge. Sorry, I got somebody here saying to me right now, saying, you have limitless knowledge, but you cling to but a grain of rice and you think it is a field. And they're saying that means that when you cling to your limited self, to the personality you think you are, when you just cling to that as being the only source of who you are, what can make you happy, that's like clinging to the grain of rice and thinking it's the whole field. Whereas if you can surrender the grain of rice and you can become the whole field, it's pretty remarkable. Thank you so much for saying that. Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, all the best for everybody this year, because there is going to be an amazing year for humanity. How do I move past the hurt from the addicts in my family? Understand that their suffering is not yours. It's important you understand that their suffering is not yours, but your love is theirs. As to practical steps, it is not you that has to get beyond them. You have to get beyond yourself. If you have even slightly been following what we've been saying, then the very nature of your breath right now, the very nature of your breath to usher your body, to usher your mind into stillness. You see, you are all looking for answers and information that are outside of what your personality can conceive of. The ways in which you can approach the situation of addiction with your loved ones is limited to the information and knowledge you have about what you think addiction is and what you think that individual needs, or what you think you have to do or not do is limited by the information that you currently possess. And so you need to step outside of what you know to know what you do not. What is a new approach to the situation is really the answer you're seeking. What is an approach to this situation that I do not know? I have tried everything I know, as all of you are in any situation with your struggles in finances and in relationships and in these things. You are struggling because you are wrestling with what you already know. And you know that you need to know something other than what you know, but you just do not know how to find it because you're so attached to what you know. And so it becomes important then to usher the body and the mind into a place of silence where you're not distracted by your mind and you're not distracted by sensation. And in that place where the body and mind are still in quiet, you begin to open your awareness up to other realms of information. Think of your personality as that grain of rice that we spoke of. That body, that mind that you have is like the grain of rice. And that when you surrender your attention and focus on exclusively being that, you open up to the field. You open your awareness up to being able to receive information beyond what you know, because it's the only way that you can truly help anyone is by offering them something that you don't know. And the paradox is you're so attached to what you know as being important that you cannot let yourself go to that which you do not know. But it is within your capability, all of you, to simply use that function of your breath. To usher your body and mind into stillness. And then in that stillness to say, I am open and receptive to receiving another way. But we would say to you from a practical standpoint, because there is something we can say that is practical for you, that you can sit down every day if you wish to truly assist these loved ones to surrender your suffering that you've experienced with them. You must first surrender yourself from suffering. Surrender your running around in that mind, remembering and anticipating, and finding yourself anxious because of what you remember and what you anticipate because of what you remember. And then being able to just simply and easily be still, to bring your mind and body, usher them into stillness. Do not look for the answer in what you know, but be open to the answer from where you do not know. And you can, in that place of stillness, you can say, I want to experience love in my life. You can conceive of what is love in the place where the mind and body are not distracting you. You can say, I know that love exists, and I truly want to experience it for myself. And I want them that I love to experience this love that I am seeking also. But your willingness to extend your love to them in whatever fashion you can do this, no matter what they are doing or being, you can simply say, I extend my love to you. And that is what I can do. I cannot fix you. I cannot get you to change your ways, but I can, for a few minutes each day, extend my love and my grace to you. And you do this. You bring your mind and body, usher them into stillness, and you can bring forth a vibration of love, and you can extend that to them without the expectation of having to get up and fix their problems for them. Sometimes you can offer a gift quietly to someone, and they will not even know that you have given it to them, but they will have a change happen. As those of you that are curious or persistent in being present with us right now, feel a particular quality or vibration that is received by you from what we transmit through this form. And that you get to experience a vibration that comes through this form that's very deliberate and intentional. It has purpose, it has reason, it has meaning as to why certain intonations of voice are utilized or certain structures of words are put together. Because our focus, again, is to extend this process of awakening to you, that you will understand what awakening truly is. And awakening is the end of your suffering. And the awakening is the beginning of the manifestation of love, which is what you are. Awakening is the beginning of healing. Awakening is the beginning of renewal. And so it is intentional, it is deliberate. And so you can be intentional and deliberate for your loved ones in that I cannot fix them. I've tried everything. I do not need to expose myself to but I can. In every moment that I choose, I can say, I send my love to you. I wish you love. I wish you grace. I wish you happiness. I wish you fulfillment. Let that be the only offering, not what do I do? There's such a problem. They are this way and they're this way. No, do not give them that gift. You've done that enough, haven't you? So yes, so this state of offering your love to those that may have disparaged you in some way, simply in the space of your own mind, in the silence of your own being, in whatever way I offer this, I offer my love to them. And if you do this for 5 minutes every day, for those that you love, just be willing to extend your love to them without uttering a word or taking an action. Just extend your love to them. You can be quite marveled at what can happen for you and for them. As the way in which spirit works is very different than the way your physical body works, although they are not separate from each other. The way in which spirit works is different than the way your mind works, although they are not separate from each other. But the mere intention to extend love to another is different. You don't need to know what it is to give it. You know what love is for you in the way that you know it for you. And even if you lie upon the street with a broken bottle at your side and pennies scattered around your body, even in that state, you can consider what love may be for you. And the very sensation of that consideration is a function of love, albeit somewhat limited in its scope and ability to affect a change. But each and every human understands, if they pause for a moment, what is love as a sensation for me within myself. And every one of you will be able to get to some understanding of that. Even the very nature of asking that question in your despair, if you say, what is love for me? If I could feel love, how does it feel? The very nature of that question will cause a shift in that distraction of disturbance. What is love as a feeling for me? The very nature of that question ushers your mind and body away from the distraction of your disturbances, if only for a moment. That question, what is love as a feeling for me? It's not something you get from somebody. They can extend it to you, but it is something for you, unique. So what is love as a feeling for you? To consider this. Good morning, everybody. Hello from South Africa. Somebody's asking, is there any specific message for me this time? Kind regards from South Africa. We hope that you've been listening sufficiently enough to understand that the message has been offered from the moment we began to speak through this one. That your function of love, because ultimately this is what happens when you can usher your mind and body into this stillness. When you begin to awaken, then the function of love becomes more important than anything else. So we would say to you, what is your function of love as a word, as an action? What is your function of love? It may not be a word. It may not be an action. It may simply be to be in the vibration of that. There is no one size fits all, but there is one great love that's shared amongst all. Wow, thank you for that. We will not probably get to all the questions today, but if you do have a question that's really important, you can use the super chat feature in YouTube. You can also use the function in Facebook, and there's also now a function in TikTok through my linktr link. If you want to ask a specific question, you want to make certain it gets answered. I've got another device here that will allow me to receive a notification if you've submitted a question through PayPal. So we have that element too. Radha is asking, my father recently passed. Does he have any guidance for me on what to do about the land? Wow. Again, it's important you understand that the gift that he offered was not simply meant to be a piece of land for the sake of a piece of land. But he gave you a space. He says, I gave you a space to let your imaginings be free, to let your imaginings be unencumbered by others, to build an edifice of your own beauty. Don't waste the opportunity. Whether in that form or not, I'm paraphrasing, but he's basically saying it would be ideal for you to build your dream there and share that dream with those that you love. It wasn't simply just land. It was an opportunity for the, he's calling it the I can't know the word, but I can translate, because the excitement I'm feeling from right now, I'll paraphrase the vitality of your imaginings, to give life to your imagination that will not be hindered by this world. Go to that place and build on it. What would please you, and that which would please you would please me. I'd be very happy about that. Right. Can you get to high vibration when you are in grief? I can't, so I can't talk to my daughter. Okay, understand. So the question the person asking is, can you get to a high vibration while in grief? The point isn't to get away from the grief. The point is to transcend the grief. And I'm going to ask you to do something right now. What is your beautiful name? Hello, Ray. So, Ray, I want you to let yourself feel your grief. Go close to your grief. Don't try to get away from it. People want to get away from it. It's uncomfortable. And yet your grief is a part of you that needs your love. Why would you deny it? Right? Bring yourself close to your grief. Like, feel it. Feel where it is in your body. And think and speak these words to your grief. I will not ignore you. I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. I will not ignore you. I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. Think and speak those words to your grief, and do so several times. I will not ignore you. I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. And experience how the vibration, the energy of your grief reacts and responds when you give it that structure of thought. That structure of thought produces a very specific vibrational structure and energy, and will interact with your grief and cause a change in it. And you can describe and experience what that change is for yourself, and then share that with all here that are here to listen, so that they know that transformation is simply just a thought away, or a series of thoughts away. But those three structures of words, I will not ignore you. I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. And just repeat that a few times, and then leave a comment in the comment section. There's over 900 videos of channeling sessions from many different beings on my YouTube channel. And I encourage you to go there, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and watch some of the videos that are there that go back as far as 5 years, when this wonderful journey began for me in earnest. And don't leave yourself out of the loop of information that's available to you from your ascended masters, the guides, the angels, the multidimensional beings, the different beings that live in this galaxy that we're part of, the Galactic Federation. There's many others that can communicate with you, that have offered their truth. And what's really fascinating is, when you watch enough, you begin to see their messages are different in language sometimes, but they're very similar in terms of the overall understanding that we need to return and restore ourselves to a function of love and get away from the function of fear. Yes, you can book a reading with me. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can book a reading with me. Also, this process of transforming emotion, this grief that this person, Ray, is working on right now, this process of grieving and anxiety and depression, these can be overcome fairly easily and quickly in the right circumstances. We have a masterclass series where the Ascended Masters and other multidimensional beings channel lessons and guidance through me that will help you in your desire to relieve yourself of your unnecessary suffering. Because suffering is not necessary. It really isn't. And our 102 masterclass, which is called Liberation, targets emotional elements, whereas our 101 masterclass targets awakening and connecting to your guides and angels, because you're not alone. Even in the moments where you think you're nobody around me, there are beings that can connect you if you know how to align yourself to them. But we also encourage people to learn how to change the vibration of your mind and how to change your despair. I'm really curious to see if Ray has done that. I'm going to scroll way down. Wow, lots of comments, guys. Good to see you here. Do I know what that thing was in Miami? Yes, they were multidimensionals. They were. It's also new technology that's being tested by the military. There's two things going on there. Yeah, so Ray, when you get a chance, leave, are you at an earth angel? I'm not sure what that means. Hi from Michigan. Good to see you. Wonderful that you're here. Lisa's asking, do my guides think I'm ready for the 4-day fast? They're saying it's more important that you decide that you're ready for the 4-day fast, but pay very close attention to your body. Pay close attention to your body during that time. Yes, I'll also add to that. Your body only knows, and they keep telling me this, your body's very simple, William. It only has two ways of communicating with you. It either feels good or it doesn't feel good. It's the only way the body can tell you that it's not getting what it needs or that it is getting what it needs. If it's getting what it needs, it feels good. If it's not getting what it needs, it doesn't feel so good. If you've given it something that makes it feel good that's actually not good for it, it will have something like a hangover or a disease, right? You might be giving I love smoking my cigarettes, I love drinking my beer. You might feel really good in that moment, but afterwards you get hangovers, you get breathing difficulties. So you may give yourself the belief that you're experiencing something good, but your body will never lie to you. So pay close attention to your body when you do that fast. Be very mindful. Very exciting. In our masterclass, we introduce people to proper vibrational eating. We have a wonderful teacher that manages our food program, Rita Mustafa, and she introduces high vibrational foods, juicing and other things that will actually bring the energy of your body up to make it more effective for you to be able to heal your body deliberately and intentionally. Thank you. Hi, guys. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, let's get you. There we go. Okay, Lisa's asking, miracles start to happen when you start to connect your guides and angels, when you learn to get your body and your mind into a state of peace. Miracles start to become natural phenomena in your life. Miracles are natural phenomena. They're natural phenomena of what you are as a spiritual consciousness when you're liberated from the limits of your mind and body. It's an amazing thing. Hi guys, good to see you. Oh, thank you so much. Any message? Somebody's asking, Ashley's asking, any message for me from a friend that was tragically taken from me and her family? She said it felt like bungee jumping. She felt the intense terror at the last moment and then awoke. She said, I awoke. I don't know why, but I'm being shown like a pair of white running shoes. And there's this, what are you looking at? Yeah, something about a pyramid. Anyway, it was like bungee jumping. She was in a state of very intense shock at first, and then she felt herself lifted back up out of the body. She says, I was drawn back home. I am in such peace. But there was that moment. She said, there was a moment I thought I was ended. And something about the word chartreuse. She's saying the word chartreuse. Again, yes. And the words do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. So don't be afraid. Wow. If you know what she means by the word chartreuse, let us know. Is my story posted somewhere? Yeah, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and go to the About section there, and it'll give you a general overview of my story. My story is a very fascinating one, and one that's become all too common, for people that suffer and go through pain. It is worth the journey when you start to awaken, like what these yogis were saying earlier today about being able to usher your body into silence. Really important. But my story has been one of great suffering, great wonder, miracles happening in times that I least expected. I remember this one time. I was a real troublemaker as a kid, and we were terrorizing. Me and my friends were not doing such a nice thing to this family. And what ended up happening is a guy got really angry and he came running out. I think I was 17, 18 at the time. And this man comes running out with this rifle and points it right to the middle of my head, right? And I'm looking at him with this gun pointed at my head. And I just felt nothing. And then his eyes did this really weird thing, his eyes. And he shook his head and then put the gun down and walked away. And there have been many instances in my life where I was facing situations not unlike that, where unusual things happened. And I went through alcoholism, like some very serious alcoholism. And I went through addictions to methamphetamine. And I just giving you the Coles notes of it. And 7 years of very intense and difficult abuse at the hands of a stepfather particularly. And I wouldn't trade a moment of anything I've gone through for anything when you understand that the value that is given me from my own experience, just from what I've experienced to give to others, and how it prepared me to be able to be an open, clear channel for other people, to let Master Jesus and the Ascendeds and the yogis and the others that are here to offer you the truth. But it's been a very long and wondrous journey. It's just beginning for me right now. It's a brand new life every day. I don't live the same day twice anymore. It's a miracle. Every day is a miracle. Every day is a miracle. And as I'm saying this flock of white birds just flew out past the window. Isn't that beautiful? Every day is a brand new and a beautiful day. And yet I was in place of absolute despair. I was suicidal. At age 20, I wanted to jump off a bridge and kill myself. And it was the first time one of my guardian angels spoke to me, John. So yeah, it's the full details of the story have never been recorded down in any one specific place. But you did not come here to suffer. You came here to create. Enough of me. It's will the words you said about grief work the same for shame? Yes, because we're talking about a vibration. The structure of those words, and I'll give them to you again, because they gave them to me. I give to you what they give to me. I will not ignore you. So whether it's guilt or shame or even rage, when you understand that thought put together, words put together in a certain way, create a frequency, a vibration. when you really understand that, then when you speak those words to your shame and you say to it, I will not ignore you. And really make certain you're thinking and speaking these words to the shame. I will not ignore you. I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. Because sometimes you have done something that you don't know why you did it and you feel ashamed you did it. So sometimes you might not understand, and being honest is important. But the structure of those words generate a specific vibration that going into the frequency of your fear or your guilt or your shame, there's a certain universal function to love. So yes, it will work equally with your shame. And if you want to know more about this and go into a really deep dive learning, sign up for our upcoming masterclasses. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com or torontomedium.com, and sign up for the masterclasses. They begin in March. And there's 4 masterclasses that take you from the fundamentals of reopening your clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. And for you, about your shame, if you want to really get over it really quickly, you want to transcend it really fast, book a reading with me. Because there's a lot of elements connected to your shame that haven't been resolved. And the reason that you did the things that you feel ashamed about doing, and the things that happen to you that make you feel ashamed, there's a lot more to it that can be corrected, healed very quickly. And again, I encourage you to go book a reading with me. That'll be very helpful for you. William, again, you can do that through my website or the Linktree link on my TikTok bio. You can use that to connect to those opportunities as well. Hi. Mary wants to know, can you tell me what the big orbs are hanging out with me? Yes, you got 4 guardian angels. You got 4 guardian angels. I'm calling them guardian angels because that's the way my brain is interpreting their energy right now. But when you're sensing those orbs around you, you can ask them to come close to you, ask each one to come close to you and give you a name that you can understand, or give you an image that represents who they are, because they'll give you their names. They'll give you an understanding that you can receive. So when you're sensing those orbs, relax, get the body relaxed, ask them to come and communicate with you, right? It can be really fascinating watching them moving around, but it could be an orb, it could be another person that shows up in your life that you need. But everything that comes to you because you've called it forth, all right? Someone's saying here, all mediums are frauds. Just to clarify, I understand that you're probably been hurt and disappointed in being let down by others. And I want to say to you, that means you're saying that Jesus is a fraud. Jesus was a medium. He communicated the wisdom of God. He talked to the archangels. He received inspiration. Buddha talked to the divine all the time. You're saying Buddha's a fraud? Right? You're saying Joan of Arc was a fraud who communicated with God and led France's armies to liberate it from certain annihilation? She talked to God. That's mediumship. She's communicating with another realm of information. You're saying that she's a fraud? You're saying Jesus is a fraud? You're saying Buddha's a fraud? Prophet Muhammad spoke to Allah, received direct inspiration from him. You're saying he's a fraud? He's a medium. He was a conduit. That's what a medium is. A medium is a conduit for information beyond what is known. That's it. And everyone has the capacity to connect to God or to Christ or to Buddha or to Allah. Everyone has the ability to be a medium. And mediumship is like a skill. You have to learn it. Like you have to learn to become an electrician. You have to learn to become an auto mechanic. Mediumship, there are practices that you need to engage to develop that skill. It's not perfect. Any more perfect than a baby trying to learn how to walk is perfect, learning how to walk the first time. Mediumship is a skill to be developed, just like any other skill. What most people don't know how to do is follow what steps to follow to develop your abilities as a medium. How do you activate clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance? So I understand why you would say that. I really do. And I send you my love and I send you my grace. because it can be difficult to understand what you don't understand. And yeah, there are a lot of fraudsters out there. There are a lot of people that are out there to steal and take, and they're driven by greed, and I understand why you can be angry about that. But you look at politicians, so many fraudsters in politicians. I hope you point them out to that too, right? But I do understand your anger and the source of it. Love you too. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. No, I won't do that. No, just because somebody's in pain, does not mean you hurt them. Just because somebody's in pain, you do not hurt them. That's funny. I'm very good today. Thank you for asking. Do we truly plan life before we come here? Yes. You do set out a plan. Your soul maps out a plan in conjunction with an all-knowing intelligence. We conspire with the all-knowing as to an expression of itself that we're going to carry out. So yeah, there is a plan in place over which you have authority to change or remap that plan out at any time. What happens to most people is they come into a physical embodiment. The environment programs information into your mind, programs information into your body, and it formulates a personality. And that personality can cause you to deviate from your original plan. And what the yogis were saying earlier today, getting the body, getting the mind, ushering them to a place of stillness allows you to reconnect to your plan instead of the plan that's been imposed upon your mind by the world. And that's pretty simple. In our masterclass, we really loan a great amount of effort goes from the masters to getting people to that place of remembering who you are so that you can be liberated from that. Someone's asking, William, does my dad think it's a good idea for me to sue the hospital? Thank you. He says it would be a very good learning experience for you to try something different. He said something about something that he actually wanted you to be a lawyer at one point in time. He had hopes of you becoming a lawyer at one time. But he says it will certainly be an opportunity for you. Thank you, Kat. Yes, she is. Your baby sister is trying to tell you something. Is there a reason why I keep seeing energy around my home? Yes, because you're learning to perceive with your non-physical senses. You've got clairvoyance, which is being able to see other than what the eyes normally see. The eyes, your physical eyes see a certain spectrum of light. The eyes are organically designed to only perceive a certain spectrum of light. What's happening for you is your clairvoyance is opening up. So you're beginning to see beyond what the eyes normally see. You're actually seeing energy. It's because your clairvoyance is opening up. And you want to learn to open your clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, which are the non-physical senses designed to complement your physical senses in the process of learning creation while you're in this physical dimension. Yeah. You guys are amazing. So good to have you guys here today. It really is. Oh, you're very welcome, Moon Witch. It's just a small part of it. How long have I known I've had my gifts? I think everybody knows. I think every one of us knows there's something special about us. That we all are born with that. We all grow up. Everybody, I don't care who you are, even somebody in a place of absolute despair knows there's something better in life than what they're experiencing. We never lose that. When I actually knew, when I completely knew that I'm this open channel, that happened about 5 years ago when my wife's mother started speaking to me on a drive through the mountains in Grossmore, Newfoundland, and she started to speak directly to my wife through my body. It was the first time I'd ever experienced somebody speaking through my body to somebody else. And it was pretty amazing. The first time I was conscious of that is probably more accurate to say. It was the first time I was conscious of that. Because I've generally been guided to help people most of my life. And I've gotten ideas and inspiration that I thought I was genius, but I've realized now in retrospect, oftentimes I was being guided and told what to say and guided to what to do without even realizing I was. I think that happens to a lot of people. You don't realize you're being guided. You don't realize it, right? But yeah, that's a really, yeah. So 5 years now, to be, if you want a specific number, yeah, it's been 5 years since I've actually actively, consciously, deliberately been able to open my awareness up to receive the wisdom and the knowledge of those that are on a frequency of love as opposed to a frequency of fear, right? Because you can only transmit those two energies, love or fear. They're the only energies you can transmit. Someone's saying, Margot is asking, is anyone coming through to me? I'm seeing a male figure. He's standing in like a 1940s tall black suit. And he's like tipping his hat to you. He's really proud of you. This is from he's wearing what people wore in the 1940s. And he's very tall. He's like 6'3". For that age, that was pretty tall at that time. But he's like tipping his hat straight up to you. He's like saying straight up to you. Really cool. Oh, you're very welcome. Is there a way to get spirits out of a home? Yes, there is, but you cannot do it with violence. You cannot do it with aggression, and you cannot do it with force. The way to change, you have to change the frequency of the space. You have to change the frequency of the space. Going into a state of love precipitates certain events happening in your life. Going into being in a state of fear and uncertainty generates a particular event and circumstance in your life. Just like this water, let's say this water is like your spirit in your house that you want to leave. And the spirit is this way. And it's going to remain this way as long as the ambient temperature of the room is what it is. In the case of your spirit, the ambient vibration of that space is what allows it to be the way it is there. So you need to change the ambient vibration of the space, the frequency. And I don't know that frequency. If I tune in, yeah, we could do that, but not right now. So this water, which is an allegory for your spirit, let's say I take it and I put it in the freezer here. I've changed the environment around this water by putting it in the freezer. The vibration of the freezer, whether the water likes it or not, is going to turn to ice as long as I sustain the vibration of cold below 32 degrees. Then the water can't argue with me. The water molecules in there can't say, I'm not going to turn to ice. No, they will turn to ice because the dominant vibration sustains that natural outcome. And so the same thing is true for spirits. They're there because there's a vibration that facilitates their being there that way. So you need to learn how to change the vibration of the space. That changes them from one state to another. So the water becomes ice. It has no choice. You shift the energy of your space to a different frequency, then the energy of that spirit will undergo a change. It has no choice. You just have to sustain the vibration for a sufficient period of time until that change happens. Pretty simple, isn't it? Yeah, I get it. Someone's saying, I was addicted to opioids and crack for 14 years. The month after I got sober, I had my awakening. Congratulations. That's such a wonderful thing to hear. Yeah, opioids were a real challenge. Yeah, I understand that. But awakening is a powerful thing. And sometimes the journey that you go on to get there is going to be different than somebody else's. But I'm really happy for you, and I'm grateful to hear that story. I can't imagine how difficult it was, but how worth it is. You get to that point where you transcend your suffering, and you go like, wow, if it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't know this, right? It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Someone's saying, my name is Tracy, and I'm really desperate to hear from my mom. I'm so lost. Okay, she's saying to me, yes, I will let you speak to her. Yes. She's saying, don't worry, honey. It's going to be fine. I am fine. You are fine. You know what you know. Use what you know. You can be really happy. I'm not far from you. Like, I'm not far from you. I'm right beside you. I'm standing over your right shoulder. I'm standing over your right shoulder. Feel me with you. You are not alone. I said I would not leave you. I meant that. It is not the time yet. I will stay with you until you are, your heart is strong. But no, I'm never not with you. Know this. Yes, it's important that, I don't know why, Stacy, I keep hearing the word Stacy. She keeps saying the word Stacy to me. So someone named Stacy is going to be important for you, Tracy. Someone's saying, I feel as if my mother and 3 brothers are visiting me, but I need help deciphering their messages. Again, go sign up for our 101 Masterclass that begins in March. It's a beginner's course in mediumship. Everyone has these non-physical senses within you: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. That's seeing without eyes, hearing without ears, feeling without sensation, and knowing without environmental stimuli. And unfortunately for most people, those clairs did not get developed because the world loaned itself to training your 5 physical senses. So your attention was outwardly focused on sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. And the internal senses of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance often got negated or completely ignored, right? So our masterclass will teach you a step-by-step process for awakening and activating your dominant clairs, learning how to connect to your guides and angels. It's a 3-week program. So there's a live event once a day from Sundays to Friday. We channel the ascended masters, other multidimensional beings, to bring you the wisdom and knowledge directly that is necessary for your understanding. But you can learn to activate those clairs. Again, sign up for the course. It's called Masterclass 101 Awakening, right? Can antidepressants block mediumship abilities? I am on them and can't connect anymore. Well, you already know the answer to that. You just answered that for yourself. Now, I'm not a medical professional, and I will not give medical advice, but I will say this to you, that your mind and body, if you're dealing with depression, because I've been clinically depressed. I was under psychiatric care when I was a child and a young adult. So I know a lot about being given antidepressants and being given depressants, things that will change your chemistry to change your perception of emotion, but they don't change the underlying emotions that are hidden. You can create a chemical change in the body and alter your perception of emotion, but it disconnects you from the real sensation of your being. And I will say this to you, that if you're depressed, it's because you're stuck in the past. If you're anxious, you're stuck in a future possibility based on your past. Our Masterclass 102, which is all about liberation, getting free of old emotions, will show you the way to transcend old emotional states, to release yourself from old, dense emotions that exist within you. So please get the wisdom, the knowledge. Yes, you will remain interfered with. Chemically, you're being chemically interfered with. Somebody's telling me to tell you right now that you can still, if you learn the function of meditation, you can restore those things and lose the need for that which does not serve you. When you restore yourself, you will have no need of those things. Yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, brand new day. Yes, there is something really important. Good morning. Have an amazing, blessed day. You too. Have an amazing, blessed day. What is Sanat Kumara and the Ascended Masters, or an imposter? Well, Sanat Kumara was an Ascended Master that lived actually biologically about 100 years ago. He and Master Saint Germain, Madame Blavatsky, founded the Royal Theosophical Society, which is all about connecting to different realms of information. You don't think that the ruling elites on this planet, you don't think that they talk to other dimensions, other information, other beings from other planetary systems? They do. And they would tell you to be afraid of these things. Most of the religions that exist today are formulated to make you terrified of anything outside of what you're supposed to believe, right? But yeah, no, I totally understand that place. The Ascended Masters, again, Master Jesus is an Ascended Master. Buddha is an Ascended Master. Yogananda is an Ascended Master. Joan of Arc was an Ascended Master. Saint Germain, John the Baptist, right? Many others, many Ascended Masters. Yeah. Again, you will know them because in the presence of a master, there is a very different feeling. In the presence of a higher vibrational being, there's a different sensation. You vibrationally feel different around a master than you do, say, around your sister or your brother or your mother. And it can be quite profound. Multidimensional beings that function on higher frequency dimensions that have mastered the function of creation. If they were to descend down, which is similar to what an Ascended Master can do, descend down to this realm and be in your presence, you would have no way to comprehend who they are, but you would just feel this incredible sensation. It's hard to describe sometimes, but yeah. Thank you so much for following. I really appreciate it. Hello, will I win the election? Gillian is asking, will I win the election, please? I'm being told to not divulge that information to you, but I am being told to tell you, you must release your attachment. You must release your attachment to what you fear, so that what you fear cannot come to pass. Yes. That's right, we are. You don't have to apologize for your remark. I understand that. No, really, I do. Listen. Before 5 years ago, if you told me I was going to be a spiritual medium that can commune and connect with the energy of the Ascended Masters, galactics, beings from other dimensions, I would have laughed at you. If you had asked me, do I believe in Jesus? Do I love Jesus? I would have thought, no, like, get away from me. No, I love Jesus. I love Buddha. I love these beings now. I understand very differently. So there was a time in my life where I was like, yeah, right. They laugh at me now. But yeah, it can be really hard to believe it sometimes. We activate by accepting ourselves. Somebody's saying, it's a very important question or statement. Activation, or what we call awakening, okay? Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the follows. And thank you for the likes. Give me lots of likes. It's lots of fun. Bring the algorithm up. Share this event with other people. But this process of awakening is one where you learn to differentiate yourself from the mind and body as not being the mind or not being the body. The body and mind are instruments. that you use while in a physical dimension. That's the body allows you to be and interact with this dimension of matter, time, and space. And the function of thought allows you to interact. Thought and emotion allow you to adjust and change the function of your body in this dimension of time and space. So the self that you're referring to is not the body. It is not the mind. It is what you are. And you want to become aware of what you are to utilize the resources at your disposal that allow you to function creatively in this dimension. And yes, if you want to support the channel, you want to support these messages, you can give a donation through PayPal. You can book a reading with me, take our courses and classes if you want to support these messages and support this work. It's a beautiful thing. So yes. Is my woman loyal and honest with me? Again, I'm being told this to say to you, not to tell you whether she's loyal or not, but to ask yourself this question: are you? Are you in a state of love and grace? If you're in a state of love and grace with somebody that you're close to, if you truly love someone, they will be loyal to you. If you understand that the definition of love isn't so much about what you give in terms of things and stuff and money, the vibrational communion that occurs between individuals that live in the vibrational frequency of love is a more powerful and vibrant connection point than all of the stuff and all the beautiful words you can offer somebody. To be in a vibration of love, and what you will say and what you will do in that vibration of love, what you will give in a vibration of love is very different than what you give based on what you think love might be. Love is giving them flowers, and it can be. But if you're giving them and doing things in order for them to reciprocate your love, then that is manipulation, and that is not love. So is what you are doing with them, is it truly an extension of love, or is it an extension of an attempt to manipulate them into being a certain way with you? Because if you're manipulating somebody, they will not be loyal to you. If you are manipulating somebody for your own gain and your own benefit, you will find disloyalty everywhere. For your love, if your love is true, will necessitate that loyalty will be true. True love. Real, true love fosters loyalty, unbreakable loyalty. Wow. Thank you for asking that question. That's a really great question. You never know. Yes, he does. Your son does watch over you. Again, I won't get to all the questions today. Where are we at? We're at 11:35 now. Okay. Got it. Great questions. I've been trying to hear from my dad. I've not got a clear image or message. Can you hear from him? Yeah, you can hear from him too. He says you're stubborn. He said, you're stubborn. You're trying too hard, son. You're trying too hard. Don't try so hard. Don't try so hard. Relax. Relax. Yeah. Is there bad energy in my house if I continue to have problems requiring major repair? It's a money pit. Again, if it's a labor of love, I mean, the idea that it's a money pit and not a labor of love is going to create its own energy. If you decide your house it's a money pit, that energy is going to create a very different outcome. If it's a labor of love, I'm creating my dream. I'm creating my dream home. Be in that energy. And when you spend money you're building your dream. It's a different energy. Different things can happen. Different people can show up. Different opportunities can occur. So if you're in the energy of a money pit, oh, it's not happening, bad energy here, then you are going to create a different experience. And this is not a judgment upon you, beautiful soul, just a recognition that certain qualities of thought generate certain frequencies of energy in the form of emotion, which act as creative influences over the conditions of your life. So are you building your dream or are you digging a pit? Which is your choice? Will you build your dream or will you continue to dig your pit? Sometimes it's just a little change in perception, isn't it? So glad. Oh yeah, this is a wonderful question. I want to say this. Hi, Maximilian from Sweden, saying, "Can I trust? I feel the soul of my unborn child." Absolutely, they're very excited that you're realizing this. You have to understand that is a communion that happened before conception. The moment the parents, what happens when two people join in communion? It's like you send out a signal, and the souls that are in harmony with that frequency that you and your partner are nurturing, you pull in a specific souls will energetically come into your experience. And yes, he's very close to you right now, right? Very excited that you realize that. Very excited about coming into this world with you guys. Very, very excited. It's wonderful. Congratulations, Maximilian. Yeah. So someone's saying some say evil eyes are a portal streaming evil energy. True? Yes, because anything can be used for anything. You can use a hammer to build a house. There are low vibrational beings on this planet interfering with humanity right now, okay? There are dark, evil entities on this planet working through people in high positions. And there are beautiful, wonderful, ascended beings working with people in high positions. It's a great spiritual war between love and fear at work on this planet. So yeah, they can transmit love. Anybody can. You can transmit love through your body. You can transmit fear through your body. You can transmit joy through your body. You can transmit rage through your body. There is a level of freedom that's available to every human. But the choice always comes down to, will you live from love or will you live from fear? You only have those two choices. You can choose love or you can choose fear. You can give love or you can give fear. The choice is yours. You can receive it or you can not receive it. If you don't open the gift that I give you, then you will not know what it is. Therefore, you cannot receive it. For those of you that have very, deep considerations, because there's so much more info. You ask me a question, the answer that you get is only a small spectrum of a very big thing. I highly encourage you, go book a reading with me. Go to my website, William Michael Forbes, book a reading. Do that. Book a half-hour reading, book a 1-hour reading. It's private. It's very intimate. You'll have a recording of your session right afterwards. What happens in a reading? A reading is unique and distinct for every individual. What you will receive will be unique to your situation, your knowledge, your experience, your life. And you will gain information and guidance that's fundamentally necessary for you at this point to move forward in your life. And so you come in and you bring 10 questions to your reading, and we go through those questions. And oftentimes within the first 15 minutes, all those questions are answered. And then you can just talk to your guides and angels and get more information from them if you want, which often happens. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people come in that were very sick and ill and they're well, or people that were terribly in a dark place and then they're at light. When you get into the energy of your guides and your angels, when you get close to the energy of love, your energy goes up. So yeah, book a reading. You're only going to get a small snippet. All of you that ask a question, you're only getting a small snippet of the information that's available to you, because there's limitless information available to every one of us. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed and I'm fortunate enough that I've gotten to this place in my life that I can allow the wisdom, the knowledge of the ascended masters and other multidimensional beings to come through me to you, to let your guides, your angels, your loved ones communicate to you directly through me. But they can also communicate directly through you, right? They can. You can learn to do that too. But yeah, go book a reading. Don't waste any time. Sandy is saying, I hope you see my question. I see your question up there, Sandy. Do you see me crossing paths with the man I really like very soon? Please and thanks. This is a question that a lot of you are asking. Where's my soulmate? Where's my partner? Right? You're asking, you're wondering, you're yearning. And I often get told by them, people in your yearning, you're actually fearing that you're not going to get. A statement that they often use is, if you had the person in your life right now, wherever you are, if you had the person in your life, you felt them, that they were right beside you, you're holding hands. How do you feel just being with that person? And they say, if you can sit in that energy of being with that person now, you open a vibrational corridor for them to walk into your life, like a doorway, a vibrational doorway, because everything in this dimension is about vibration, right? So yeah, get into the feeling. Yes. Yeah. Again, if you want to go deeper into that, book a reading, because there's a lot more to it. Is your mind clear when you're getting the energy? Is my mind clear? That's a great question. Sometimes it comes in really, really clear. Again, I've only become conscious of this and have been allowing it for about 5 years now. And there are times where I have a difficult time accessing information, or they're speaking in a language, or they're showing me things I've never seen before, and I don't have a way to understand or interpret what they're saying. So what happens is they'll send information to me, and if I let it channel directly through me, that's one thing. But if you call in like a grandmother or grandfather, we had one person in a reading who was having really serious medical problems, and she called this person, and I couldn't figure out this. I just got this big giant man, right? And then she knew who it was, and she said, "I know who that is." And he said to her, "I'm really, 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 really sorry." And the medical condition that she's doing literally lifted away when she received his apology. So yeah, sometimes it comes in really clear. It's still a process of development. I mean, you look at children learning to walk, or learning to talk, or learning how to socialize. It can take 5 to 10 years for a person just learning how to be a good person. Sometimes it can take 30, 40, 50 years to become a good person. So the development of mediumship is like any other skill. There's always room for improvement. But yeah, sometimes I get information, sometimes I get symbols, sometimes I get a direct picture, sometimes I hear a clear voice, sometimes I see them very clearly, sometimes I can just feel their presence around me. There's different modalities that I can receive the information at. Sometimes I receive it as a feeling. Sometimes I receive it as a clear image or a well-defined thought. It's unique and distinct. Especially during readings, when I'm doing a reading for somebody, I just open myself up and I let the information come that's available for that person. And that's what happens. Occasionally, someone else might jump in and say something to the person that they weren't expecting. And that's a lot of fun when that happens too. But being mediumship it's a difficult process in the beginning. I remember when I first started, I had this one reading where a woman had booked a reading with me, and her daughter's father had disappeared. They didn't know where he was. And she said, and as soon as she came on, I could feel his presence. He wasn't in his body anymore. And she asked the question she asked about, we're not at liberty to give too many details, but when he told me that they would find him dead in the backseat of a car, the first time he told me this, and I'm like, I got to tell this person this. And he said, yes, you do. And it was probably one of the most difficult things I had to say to a person, because her young child was now going to be, and literally he said that they would find him in 2 hours. He was very specific. And literally I said, he said they're going to find him in 2 hours, and you'll know. And in 2 hours later, she called me back and said, yeah, they just found him in the back seat of his car. So yeah, information can be really easy and sometimes it can be very difficult. Being a medium is a skill that develops over time. You get more proficient at allowing certain information. You get more proficient at recognizing the vibrational nature of information. I choose to keep my consciousness as close to the vibrational frequency of love as possible, so that what comes through me is of that vibration. There are mediums that are low vibrational mediums that channel dark entities, and that's not a good idea. You have to learn how to control your frequency. So there's a lot of nuances to mediumship, but it's like any other skill. Whether you want to become a mechanic or a brain surgeon, you have to learn certain things. It can take years to learn and perfect. Look at how long it takes children just to learn to have a conversation with you. 7, 8, 9 years of age before they can carry on a conversation with you. So anything, mediumship follows the same process. A set of things you have to learn and practice. You have to open up these non-physical senses of clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, clear audience, which is clear hearing, clear sentience, which is clear feeling, and clear cognizance, which is clear knowing. You need to develop those. And unfortunately, most humans in this world, you've been so distracted by the 5 senses. Most of what the world has done with you is locked you into only perceiving reality from 5 physical senses. And mediumship allows you to surrender your attachment to the senses to activate and actualize these other senses. And the Ascended Masters teach us how to do this in the Masterclasses. You literally learn how to reactivate those internal senses. And they use a combination of things like meditation and practice sessions and one-on-one practices and live events that happen over a period of 3 weeks. Our courses span a period of 12 weeks, from our 101 awakening to our 104 transcendence program. And each one loans itself to guiding you along specific paths. But I've also been blessed in doing one-on-one readings with people, I've been really blessed to watch people suddenly transcend the personality in a single reading. Wonderful things can happen there. Very miraculous things that are normal. Miracles are normal. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Good to connect to you too. Yeah, I got that. Thank you so much. Hi, Margaret. Listen, there's something they keep telling us about this illusionary thing called death. Okay. So we take this water. Let's say this water is you. That's your body. That's your brother's body, and all of a sudden his body's gone. The body is just the instrument. It's not who and what your brother is as a being. He says he loves you very much. And it's easier for him to come to you in sleep because you remember him when you're sleeping better than you do when you're physically awake. He wants you to feel the presence of his love for you. To not think of him as dead, but to recognize that he simply does not live in a physical body anymore. The body is just the instrument that allows us to articulate ourselves in a physical dimension, right? I'm directing the function of these fingers from a non-physical place. I'm in a non-physical place. But if this body is broken or damaged, then I won't function through it the same way. When the body ceases to live, then I don't have that vehicle to express or articulate physically through. But that doesn't mean I don't exist. It just simply means I'm not perceptible to the physical dimension anymore because I don't have a physical body. But energetically, we still exist. And yeah, I hope you're feeling that from your brother right now. I really, really hope you are feeling it. It's like a bear hug. It's a love of bear, it's like a big loving teddy bear for you. He wants you to feel that. Remember that. Thank you so much for the rose. Appreciate it. Oh, thank you for the bracelet. I understand. That's right. want to open and see, like I did before I was 40 years and conformed to the norms. How do I see the magic again? For those of you, understand there has been a concerted effort to keep you stuck in your body and mind. There's a massive effort to keep you stuck in your body. The proliferation of drugs and alcohol, especially during the so-called pandemic, that alcohol and drugs were readily made available to everybody all over the world. They want to keep you thinking that your body is the only locus of your identity. They want you to stay lost in the illusion that the thoughts that you've acquired from this world are the only thing that identify you as yourself. There's a deliberate, intentional effort to keep you away from awakening. And it's going to fail. They can't stop it. It's happening. Whether they like it, no matter what effort they throw at you, whether they try to jabbity jab you or try to poison your food or your water or your air, which they're doing, they cannot outthink an all-knowing intelligence. An all-knowing mind cannot make a mistake. So they're trying to outthink the divine. But your awakening personally, okay, your awakening personally begins right now. Like, sign up for our masterclasses. Learn the steps of changing the vibration of your body, changing the vibration of your mind, awakening your soul to itself so that you realize, oh, you haven't lost those skills. You haven't lost the ability to see, to hear, to feel, to know. There are certain things you might be eating, certain things you might be drinking, certain things you might be doing that keep you locked into and separate from who you are as a spiritual entity. And a lot of people are stuck in that right now. They're stuck in believing this is who I am. I'm just a body. And my body is who I am. That's gobbledygook. Your body is an instrument through which you express. It's not who you are. The body is an instrument, a divine and wondrous. The body you were given at birth is the most unique and precious element of consciousness to ever exist. The body that you were born with and growing up in, it's your best friend. I was having a conversation with them the other day. My wife was, anyway, she was talking to them about the body and how the body actually is and what its real nature is and what your relationship with it. You're at birth, you were married to your body. The first marriage you ever have is with your own body. When you entered that body at conception, when you entered physical matter at conception, okay, you married matter. You became married to it. And the body is an instrument. It's a living animal that you inhabit. A really good example of that is watching a movie called The Golden Compass. Brilliant movie. And your body is literally the animal that you get to be a partner with in this lifetime. And it lets you exist in this physical dimension. And very few people understand what the body's function is for you. And so many people have been trained and conditioned to believing that the sensations I feel in my body are real. That's all I can feel is what my body feels. It's not true. Your body is a servant to you. It's your partner. It's your best friend. And most people treat their bodies like shit. Most people ignore and negate what their body needs and wants and desires. And you can see that all over the world now, how people abuse this beautiful creature that's been living with you, letting you be here in this world. Your body allows you to exist in this world. Don't treat it like shit. Treat it like royalty. Unfortunately, a lot of people are being taught to mistreat their body, eat things that's overstimulated. Fall in love with this organism that you call your body. Your body is your partner while you live in this world, and it allows you to exist here. Without the body, you cannot exist in this dimension. I think we're at the point of finishing today. I want to thank the yogis that were present with us earlier in the presentation. For those of you that want to see the original message, you can go to my YouTube channel, and after this transmission is finished, this video will show up on my YouTube channel, the replay. I want to wish all of you much love. And again, if you want to get a specific question answered, or if you want to book a reading, go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, or go to the Linktree link on my TikTok bio, and you can get access to all my services there. And for my patrons, keep in mind, my beautiful patrons, that tomorrow night we have our live event with Master Jesus on. I won't get into too much detail. What did he say? He actually said that it was about, let's see, patrons only. Just scrolling through here. What a beautiful day. It's remembering is awakening, and awakening is the return to love. And that's going to be a discussion and meditation with Master Jesus for my patrons. I know a lot of you've all received your notification. If you want to sign up for my Patreon event tomorrow night, go to patreon.com/William Michael Forbes, or just click on the link on my YouTube channel. All the links for all my resources are there. I want to wish each and every one of you much love. Have yourselves a wondrous and a joyful day, and I will see all of you on Monday's edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Bye for now.